What's the word for what you guys are?
Ta-da!
Polyamorous?
Oh, I was thinking filthy hippies, but like I said, no judgment.
Tuesday.
The child who clawed his way out of the abdomen of our dead friend Colin Robinson has reached that wild age.
He's not showing signs of being a bore.
I'm gonna get you!
FX's What We Do in the Shadows. All new Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world.
You're listening to the podcast, The Vampire Council, What We Do in the Shadows podcast, Season 4, Episode 5, Private School. I'm Matt Dursin.
Clay and Ferno here.
Clay, welcome back. Here we are, Season
Thanks for having
4,
me.
Episode 5. Yeah, well, you know.
Thanks for having me on our show.
Sure, well, thanks for coming on. You know, you get to plug your stuff on our little podcast here.
Yeah, check out leaguepodcast.com.
Yes. Wait, that's the same stuff I was going to plug.
Damn it.
Wait a minute.
But what I've been doing in the video version, I go, League Podcast Presents. Like it's a concert or something. League Podcast Presents the Vampire Council. Kind of like the Marvel's
right,
The Avengers versus the Avengers, the 60s spy show. You know, you don't want to get them confused.
Right. Or any of those movies that have a person's like name in front of them, you know, or Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare. For some reason, that was the one I thought of. No reason.
Oh, yeah. I remember
I
that.
actually quite liked that movie, speaking of horror movies.
We when I worked in a movie theater and Sister Act 2 came to the theater. And
Whoopi Goldberg's Sister Act 2?
No, in fact, it was Harvey Keitel's Sister Act, because Harvey Keitel appears in that movie. And we were big like Tarantino fans and everything. Everybody who worked there was like a big Harvey Keitel guy, and we were all kind of like, what is he doing in this stupid Sister Act movie? So we just called it Harvey Keitel's Sister Act. We even like wrote it on the thing like where you punch the ticket, like
that's funny.
You used to have actual paper tickets, so you'd come up and say, hey, one for Sister Act 2, but it would say like Harvey Keitel's Sister Act 2 in like pencil, like, so nobody could see it, but we knew it was there.
I think I've told you this, but the movie theater that's by your house, North Dakota, Majestic 7, North Dakota.
Yeah.
A couple times I always hold on to my movie ticket stuff. I'm trying to live life very simply, but I have a little box that has ticket stubs in it. So I always keep my movie stubs, and at that one, I gave it to the person, and they just took it. And I was like, can I have it, please? And they were like, no, you can't. And I was like, it's a movie stub. I would really like it because it's I don't know if maybe they have one copy that's more looks like a receipt, but it also has one that says Spider-Man No Way Home or something on it, or Black Panther or whatever it is. And they were just like, no, you can't have it. And they took it. I was like, oh, this could be the only Spider-Man I don't have a ticket for.
No.
I think I actually waited for them to walk away, and then I went over and yoinked it out of the little bin that they had there.
Yeah, they'd probably just throw them all away anyway. What do they care? Right? I mean, what does it matter?
What do they keep them? It's kind of like when you come and you're helping me at the door at some event or whatever. You see what we do. It's just
yeah, I don't care.
I'm not scanning this in.
Some of them want to show me the ticket. Yeah, and I'm just like, what's your name? You know?
Yeah, they don't know that we don't have a ticket scanner, so they assume that we do. But it's just we don't. Even if we did collect all the tickets, no, you can hold on to it. It's fine. I do not need that.
Right. Okay. Right. Anywho, enough of that nonsense. We're here to talk about what we do in the shadows. this is I don't know how you feel, Clay, but this is like maybe like this episode. Yes. This episode was very different, I think, than like maybe any episode they've ever had. Right? I mean, they've never had it. Most of the episodes kind of like, I mean, a lot of them, they spend a lot of time in the house, obviously, because they don't really go out much, but sometimes they go out and whatever. And
I don't know. Is it from I Dream of Jeannie that the term like bottle episode comes from? Or I'm probably using the term wrong, but this is like basically, even though there's a couple of scenes outside of the house, it's basically just them in the parlor with the headmaster the whole time. Like,
right. They're basically in the same room the entire. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it came from
isn't that the screenwriting
but
challenge thing too, where it's like, you went to school for this, so I'm like totally botching even explaining it to it. It's like the most difficult, scene to write is just two people in a blank room. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Because you don't have any tools, you don't have anything in your toolbox. That was what I was always told. Well, not always told, but one of my professors said, like, to describe always have something in your toolbox, And if it's literally two people in a room, you don't have as many tools in your toolbox.
You show up to class the next day with like one of those carpenter's belts. It's like a drill and a hammer on it, and he's like, Matt, can I talk to you after class?
No.
That's not what I was saying.
It's not literally. It's not. Maybe you're not cut out.
Then the next day you come in with the Batman utility belt 66. That has a bunch of stuff in it. Is this what you meant?
Yeah, you're not getting it. But anyway, so I mean, this is different. I mean, the great thing is there are many characters, and the scenario is this sort of escalating. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. So Colin Robinson is now like. How old is he now?
9.
He's like almost, he's 9. And he is tearing the place apart. And like we always like to point out, at one point, he goes right up to the camera and smashes it. And we always like to point out when the camera is involved, or the cameraman or the camera crew are involved. And they're involved a little bit. Yeah, like
this is very like slapsticky, like Marx Brothers comedy too, because Kayvan runs, or Nandor like does a runs right up to the camera and kind of does a dodge left right and then jumps out of frame instead of just like, when Colin comes running in with the sword or whatever. They all like.
I think it's a hammer. I think it's like a sledgehammer.
And then they all kind of do like a Scooby-Doo, like yoink, so they all jump out of their chairs and run out. And so like Nandor almost does like, he like really exaggerates his physical movement and like blocks the camera for a second, and then Colin comes in and breaks the camera.
Right. It is. I love it because it goes right up to the like. That's the start of the. I also love when they play with the theme. Where they go to the theme. But I love that. Like, so they show him. He's smashing everything. The basement is like flooded. He's like,
and it's constantly just still being flooded for however long they've been down there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's just like smashing holes in the wall, and brilliantly, Laszlo's reaction to this is like they're kind of telling the documentarians like he's out of control, blah blah blah. But Laszlo just kind of like is a big idiot. It's like he's 100% boy. At least he's not boring.
Yeah. He's like, there's no controlling that scallywag.
He
has
no problem with it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a way better way to describe it. Yeah, he's just I love my boy.
Yeah, he's 100% boy. I did like that. He just calls him boy. I just call him boy. But yeah, it is. I mean, this is a great, departure from the norm for that. So anyway, he's making a mess, and then they say maybe he needs some structure and he should go to school. And so, public school, private school, there's a debate there for a little bit. First, then there's the money for private school, and she says, "Isn't the club making millions?" Or I think she says trillions, right?
Yeah, and then. well, first of all, vampires have no concept of money or how much anything's worth.
Right.
And Guillermo is the treasurer. And so they
Yeah.
cut to him. He's like, no, I don't know off the top of my head how well the club is doing, and we'll get there. But it's pretty hilarious because he's a little cagey about how well the club is doing.
Right. Right. But so I mean, but they have no idea. But he also says, well, I went to public school and I turned out fine, and they're all kind of like, oh, or maybe it's just Laszlo's like, oh, and then we get to see Sean.
Yeah.
Sean is back.
So delighted to see Sean, and there's a joke that happens when the headmaster shows up, but yeah, they which I'll get to when they do that part, but yeah, so Sean shows up and you know, Laszlo says, Shawnee, good to see you, old boy, and like, you know, because he brings in Colin because Colin is next door taking his ball peen hammer and just banging holes in the wall. And they're like, oh, we're sorry, Shawnee.
Yeah. Sorry, my boy. But so yeah, like Sean went to this school and he knows the headmaster and he thinks he can get him in. So they have to do this interview. The guy's coming to their house to interview them to like see if Colin will fit in, you know, this is like a thing. I guess we both went to public school as well, so
that's right.
We don't know, but I guess yeah.
But our well, I should say your neighbor. I actually don't know what combination of private school the Hunts went to, because some went to public school for a little bit and some didn't.
They mixed things up.
Mix it up.
A couple of them went to private school. Yeah, my brother went to a Catholic, high school and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think my parents would have sent me there had I wanted to go, and I think I was like, nah. All boys school.
You're like, I can look out my house and see my high school from here practically. Why would I go anywhere else?
I don't want to go all the way to Boston. All right, but anyway, yeah. So as just before the guy gets there, or even maybe as he's walking in, it seems like, I don't even remember, or I think it's as he's there, they realize they don't know who should be Colin's parents, basically. Oh, the guy asked them, right? Because they're all in the room, and he's kind of like, so who are the parents?
Yeah. So to one half step back, Sean says, "I'm really tight with the headmaster," so he brings the headmaster over, and Sean says a really funny thing, where he goes, "Yeah, the headmaster here, he really set me straight. He look at me now." And then, I think even Laszlo says something in the scene before. It's like, look at you tuck your pants in to your trousers.
That's right. Like his sweatpants, dude. It's like it's the kind of shirt you don't tuck in. It's not like a button-down nice dress shirt. It's like you can tuck in your own trousers, or something like that. He does say that, right?
This joke snuck by me until I saw it. I watched it a couple times, and he's like, "Thank you for setting me on the right path, Headmaster." and so it's like a day school, so it's I don't know, maybe it is all the way through high school. I don't know about the school structure or whatever. But he goes, "Yeah, well, a 4-year college isn't for everybody, but I knew that you were cut out for it." So basically, anybody that goes to the school is at best going to community college. but he sent Sean to the 4-year college. He goes, "Not everybody can pull that off, but I knew you were special."
I know. It's kind of it's a dig at the school system. It's a dig at Sean. Obviously, he's like, not everyone's cut out for it.
I just thought that was really funny, because it's not like people leave this day school and they go to Harvard. They might go to what we would used to call Massasoit.
Massasoit, right? UMass Brockton.
CC.
That's what someone told me to call it.
I never heard that one. That's good.
I heard that one.
I like that.
I didn't make it up, but I do like it.
I do like that. You can take credit for it. You made it up.
You're right. You're right. Nobody would know. Nobody would know. So we also should point out there's another the sort of C storyline as because so Nandor. One thing they look at him, they go, "Did you get a haircut?" And he's like, "Well, no, or whatever." So he's been using his wishes.
Yeah, for like eye lifts and stuff.
Yeah, like basically like plastic surgery, and like, and he talks to the gene, and he's like, yeah, what did you think of your last one? You know, like they're talking about stuff, but yeah, like he basically looks like one by the time the episode's over, not to jump ahead, but like he looks like a real housewife, you know what I mean? He's got, like,
do you remember those twins that died that had the crazy plastic surgery? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I remember this story.
These people, like, they look like, I have to look it up, and it's dead air, so vamp for a second.
Oh, geez, okay. I mean, whatever, it doesn't, you know who we're talking about. These, like, Hollywood starlets. And they look ridiculous. His eyes are, it's like Botox or whatever, but, like, there's this great video if you follow Harvey Guillén on Instagram. There's this video that he shot of kayvan novak in this
like in his trailer eating?
Like in his trailer eating,
yeah,
and he's got the makeup on and he looks ridiculous.
And he's just about to like dig into it, and he like looks up and sees that Harvey's like videoing him. But
he was on a call or something too. He was like on.
It's really funny too because the way Laszlo says a couple of words in this episode are really funny. He goes, "Gizmo, we are talking on camera," because they're talking on camera. But also when he sees Nandor with like his eyes sort of pulled back and his like haircut is like. Not just like, did you get a haircut? And Laszlo goes, have you been watching Star Trek?
Yeah, right.
The way he says Star Trek is the most hilarious thing. Have you been watching Star Trek?
I don't even know if I get that joke. Is he just saying that to be
because he kind of looks like a Spock.
Oh,
because his eyebrows are way up high and. It's like everything's like pulled back. He looks a little Vulcan. I think that's what he's saying.
I guess he does look a little Vulcan. Yeah.
Or maybe he looks a little like Worf Klingon. You know, it's so bad
because his eyes, his like forehead is kind of like
he's got some loaf. They call that the loaf.
Really,
Klingon loaf. Yeah.
Oh, very good. So he's still, but he like they ask him. The funny thing is, they're like, "Why don't you get your gene?" Or he calls him Genie. He's like, Gene. He's like, why don't you get your genie to clean up this bullshit? That's what he says. The house is a mess.
For the house, yeah.
Yeah, because the house is a mess, and they want to impress this guy from the school.
But he's also, like, that was the excuse too. It was like, oh, we can't send Baby Colin Robinson to school because we need the money to fix the house, right?
Yeah.
And like,
But it was also, like he's like, oh, I can't use the wishes, I can't use them up frivolously. And meanwhile, he's using them for like an eye tuck or whatever.
And he's like, because I want to do philanthropy.
Philanthropy, yes. So that's the C storyline. Now, like the B storyline, though, is where the money is going. And that is the Guillermo bit that we mentioned earlier, because the camera, this is another camera. The camera he actually tells him, "Oh, like I'm gonna go do something. Don't follow me," and they do follow him out into like the world, and he's buying shoes. You can see in his outfit too.
He's flossing, as they say.
Oh, is that what they say?
He's flossing. Yeah, he's got new Nikes on. He's got like a crazy like gold. I mean, I don't know if it's a nice watch, but it's like a gold watch. Big, nice new flight jacket. Like you can't really tell. Like his outfit's not that extravagant, but city kids spend money on their shoes and watches. They just do.
Shoes. Yeah, that's Yeah, that's fire, I think is what they would say too.
Yeah,
That's
that
another
would
thing I
be
can
that
think.
would be.
Yeah.
Excuse me, let me look at my notes. Yes, those kicks are fire. Yes. It took me three hours of research on Urban Dictionary to come up with that to sound.
Yeah, that was good though. You did sound hip, of course. So he's like taking the money right from Nadia's, the club.
They even cut to him just like stuffing money
Right,
in
like
his
literally
vest and
taking
down
it
his
right out
pants
of-
and stuff.
And
in the
she's
middle
like,
of the
"Oh, how'd
club.
we do tonight?"
They're all
Yeah.
just people who could just watch him do it.
And he's kind of like justifying it too. He's kind of like, well, I mean, they don't really. I mean, I'm just doing like, I've been working for them for all these years and never getting paid. so
Yeah,
I'm
I just
kinda-
want to put a little money. I'm saving it. I'm
Yeah.
saving the money. I'm saving
Right.
it, to pay myself a little bit.
Yeah, he's just paying himself a little bit, So, but yeah. Anyway, so that's another reason why they can't send him to a private school or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So the headmaster guy comes. And Sean is there, but once they start to like figure out like, oh my god, we don't know. Well, what do we tell him? Who's the parent?
Yeah,
and then
so-
they do this,
Yeah, Nadja has a spell.
yeah, like a
Nadja has a-
hypnotism thing.
Right.
Or just
Scooby-Doo type
Yeah.
spell where she's like, you. And the way I talk about Laszlo saying things hilariously, Nadja like puts her voice up into a really high register a bunch of times in this episode that just makes her really stand out too. She goes, "You will not remember anything from this," when she snaps her fingers.
Yeah. It's really funny. So yeah, and Laszlo's kind of like, but yeah. So they keep telling him different things. On the one hand, okay, like Laszlo.
So
and-
basically, Nadja keeps resetting.
she
the
keeps snapping her
situation.
fingers and putting them back to sleep, and they don't remember what they were just told. It's like they're like, all right, you and I will be the parents, and then it's like, well, I already told them I'm the boy's uncle or whatever, and it's like, oh, so Nandor and Nadia will be the parents or whatever.
And
then
Sean
Nandor
kind of is in. Sean knows the vampires, but I think they kind of, even when they're hanging out with Sean, I guess Sean's either not that observant or they kind of like they whatever, like they like give a glamour. They give him a
or
like,
the brain scramblies.
yeah, they give him like a. I feel like they're always giving him like a low dosage of like confusion or a low dosage of a spell whenever they're hanging out with them, like to manipulate him in a way, because he kind of half understands what's going on, half he doesn't.
Right. So that like because at one point, like when he says, so then Laszlo and Nandor are gonna be the parents.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, I don't know, I thought you two were married, but hey, whatever you call it, whatever. I thought I was gonna call it dirty hippies, but whatever. Like,
yeah, Guillermo's like polyamorous. He's like, I was gonna say filthy hippies, but no judgment.
yeah, right. No judgment. You filthy hippies. But no, that's right. That was the thing. Polyamorous. I forgot that. He's like, yeah, whatever you call it there. But and then they keep having to reset him because the guy said something that like goes all back on what they had just said.
Yeah,
and they're
because
like,
it basically almost like every time the headmaster answers a question, they pause it and go, "Oh, what's the answer?" And
right, like yeah, right.
and yeah, there's a whole thing with like who is Colin's parents, how old is he? Maybe like because it's just and Nandor said that his name was Matthew and he was the father, and then later on he says his name is
Matthew.
Adolfo, and then there's introduced the idea of one of them, I think Laszlo is the groundskeeper, and then and then Nandor's like, I'm the groundskeeper. Like they just keep going around because the headmaster is just trying to get some background information about Colin, and they're basically just saying, "Oh, we're not weird enough. We have to really ramp this up." And so they would
right.
reset everything, and then put people in different chairs. It's so good.
It's funny too because the headmaster guy is like super nice. Like he's not whatever they say he's like on board with, but they think like, oh my god, we gotta stand out. Like we gotta make Colin stand out.
And
like,
that guy
whatever.
has like the voice of like Keith Morrison from Dateline or whatever. Like he has this voice where it's like very much like I'm a TV announcer, and then the teacher walked into the living room and was surprised to find her husband's throat cut and blood all over the tiles. You know what I mean? Like,
I know
it really
he's
sounds
very.
like that.
He was on Arrow too. He was Aldous Boardman. Do you know who that is? I don't know who that is. Dr. Aldous Boardman.
I don't remember him in particular from that, but I do like his voice.
Yeah, he does have a great. He's done a lot of voice work as well. But yeah, so like they keep having to like reset him, and like literally every few seconds, and then they bring in Sal Vulcano. I never watched Impractical Joker.
Yeah, I don't
like,
know that. I had to look that guy up too.
But he's like playing himself, and he's just like, we brought in this.
Yeah, because
like. It's so weird.
It got to a point where they thought they needed to be having somebody that they had to know somebody famous because the guy was like, somebody at our school is on Law and Order,
singer.
but I can't really tell you that who their name is. It wouldn't be cool if I just blurted it out. But he's just saying that so that he can blurt it out.
Right.
So they stop everything.
They just stop it again. Yeah. And he's one of these star fuckers.
And then Andrew goes, he fucks stars. And actually, from that too, Nadia says something about like, I know exactly what this guy is going to, and she does like a mocking voice, and she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. We only have Lionel Barrymore's kids here, blah, blah, blah. So I looked up Lionel Barrymore.
That's Drew Barrymore's dad, right? Isn't that Lionel?
Maybe related. Could not have. I don't think it's her dad because.
Oh, really?
Because he was this particular Barrymore, Lionel Barrymore. I'm not claiming to know anything about Drew Barrymore, but he was the villainous Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, maybe her grandfather. Jeez.
Yeah, maybe her grandfather. But I was like,
he was born in 1938 or something. Or no, he wasn't born in 1938. He was in a movie in 1938.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, because isn't her father somebody famous though?
I mean, you're like you said. Yeah, I think it maybe
it's a famous Hollywood family.
But like from the 40s.
Right. I know. I love that voice that she does though. It's so funny, like the way when actors can do that, it's just so hilarious when they just like.
Oh my gosh, she's so good.
Yeah. John Barrymore. That's the guy's name, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I don't know. I said I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I'm not an expert either. I'm just looking it up on IMDb. I should stop. Who cares? But yeah, I love the voice that she does when she's like, "Oh yeah, we're this Barrymore or whatever." Yeah, like. So different than her actual Nadia voice. It's great.
So since we're there, John Barrymore, the son of Lionel Barrymore. So you're right. So Drew Barrymore's So instead of Nadia referencing Drew Barrymore, which everyone would understand, she goes back 2 generations.
Right. To Lionel Barrymore.
Is that and I guess what she is saying in that hypothetical is that Drew Barrymore's dad would be cool enough to go to this school because he's the kid of Lionel Barrymore.
I guess but like you said, their references are so dated.
Because they could talk about like something that happened yesterday or 300 years ago, and they just say, "Oh, that was yesterday." You know, like it
right? Because they've lived so long that they don't really have any concept of time. But it is really, I mean, like they go through so many. Like, in one of them, Guillermo is the dad.
Yeah, they do. Then they do like this is what I think is more Marx Brothers, or it's a different kind of comedy, almost like we've talked about this over at the Curbcasts one time. Like sometimes they go like super camp. Remember that episode they did that Cheryl Hines directed, but they all ended up at in a trash barrel at the end, just like a super over the top, like little gaggy joke.
Right.
This was like gags, and it was like reaching deep back into Lionel Barrymore comedy times. You know what I mean? It was like really old school. And then the Nadja doll at one point is
yes, that's right.
Is
doll.
one of the parents, and she says something like, rearing a child is sometimes harder than bearing a child. And the Headmaster's like, beautifully said. And Sean goes, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Is that a Nadja doll? And it goes so quick. And she goes, oh, we already did this one.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's so many different scenarios.
And even the Headmaster is at one point is being convinced that he's one of the parents.
It's funny because it almost seems like Guillermo's is like this. He's very heartfelt. Well, yes, and then they just cut him off right away. I don't know. But it's very. I don't know. It's just a different episode. For them, I mean, it's because, and I guess you're right. Yeah, it's kind of just different style of humor for them, but it's great. They can slide these characters into anywhere. Finally, so I guess to put a pin on this, the Headmaster, he doesn't die on camera, but they said They said he had a massive stroke because most humans can only take being hypnotized 7 times, and they gave him 428 different.
Right. Because he kept going, oh, my head's kind of woozy.
Yeah.
And also it's very much like brain scramblies.
Yeah.
Because Sean already has the brain scramblies, so I feel like they're not gonna kill him off.
Yeah. No.
Even though
maybe
he suffered through it all.
I know. And the guy from Impractical Jokers probably too.
Oh, he's dead. Laszlo just fucking snapped his neck.
I mean, of all the guest stars they've had, and we always talk about how great, they love this, Nick Kroll and whatever. This is the only time I think that someone has played themselves, or whatever,
Oh, right.
Famous person.
Also a Curbcast thing. It's 50-50 shot. You might just play yourself, Woody Harrelson,
right?
Or
you might be Bill Hader and play different.
Yeah, you might be Bill Hader or even JB Smoove. There's no reason he couldn't have just been JB on the show. But I think that they didn't realize when they brought him in as a side character for the blacks that he would just stick around.
Yeah, that it would be so funny. So yeah, I mean, but this is the first time I think in my. Maybe I'm wrong, but where it's just brought in, but because they're talking about starfuckers and whatever.
I think absolutely brilliant too, because even though we're not fans of that guy, that comedy act in the True TV show, I know about it because I've seen it advertised for playing that Impractical Jokers thing. That sounds like The Garden, that. They're they're really popular. So. I think it sort of says something great to the fact that we're excited about seeing Kristen Shaw and Nick Kroll and Brett Armisen and stuff like that, but this is a whole other kind of having a cool guest on your podcast kind of thing. This is a whole other demographic that are just gonna watch that episode because he's in it.
Jeez, I had no idea. I was thinking they picked this guy because no one would know who he was.
They're a comedy. They're a comedy troupe, but they do kind of not violent Jackass, but I think they kind of pull pranks on people or something. So it's not really kind of thing doesn't really appeal to me. I don't like when people playing pranks on them.
Oh yeah, I would. They used to put ads in comics a lot. I used to see their ads in paper comics, floppies as they call them. I remember. Yeah, seeing those, but I never watched it.
He's dead now, so he can't go out.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So anyway, so are they just going to send it? They just send it to public school is the final word, I think, on the matter. After all that, they were just like, well, we're just going to send it to public school and he'll be fine. But and then we find out as well that Nadia is also taking money. She's also stealing money from her own club, basically.
Yeah, but the public school thing is they show Colin like playing basketball or something,
right.
and then Nadia says humans they all love balls. They love playing with balls.
I think the idea. Yeah, the idea is to get him socialized, so they just signed him up for every sport. And so, like, he's playing basketball, and then like, come on, we're on our way to soccer.
Yeah, and then they put him to bed in like full hockey uniform. Which when I was not when I was growing up, but like when my cousin was little, he was like such a hockey kid that I wouldn't be surprised if he like wanted to sleep in his like goalie clothes. Like he graduated BU from med school. Now he's an adult, but when he was a kid, he was totally like little Colin Robinson is the full hockey gear, like all the time.
Yeah, so on the one hand, they thought it'd be good to socialize. On the other hand, it tires him out so that he doesn't spend the rest of his day smashing the house. But so yeah, I mean that's wraps up that storyline. But
and then I guess they can go to the basketball game because it's at night, right?
Yeah. So they were yelling. They were in the crowd, screaming.
Yeah, even at the beginning, Nando was like, "I haven't had a good day's sleep and I don't know how long."
Oh, that's right, because he's smashing everything. And by the end of the episode, like he's full on like his forehead is huge, his cheeks and everything are all big. And,
he looks like Grishka and Igor Bogdanov.
That's right.
Twins.
Yeah.
Creeps, man. Such creeps.
So they were dead, huh?
Yeah, they both died at the same time or something. It was like
72.
The whole thing was weird. These guys.
Yeah,
I remember
weird.
They died last year or something. I was like reading it and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Probably too much Botox. But So we switched to Nadia and like there's like a thing where like she and Guillermo are kind of like, okay, yep, okay. And meanwhile, he's taking some money. And then, like, as soon as he leaves, she, like, opens this door, this, like, secret cabinet, and she shoves all this money in there.
Yeah, she doesn't care that he's stealing because, well, first of all, she doesn't know. I feel like her and Labs, all of them, like, they don't know. Like, Nandor doesn't know, like, like, he needs a Matt Dursin to sell it now with this big, his treasury that he has like in his house, whatever, that big, that room with all the treasures. Like he has no idea how much any of that stuff is worth. And I feel like the vampires don't know. They just like with age and the Barrymores, like they have no concept of money or what. They know they need it. Course. All they know is they need it.
Right. They know what it is, but they don't know how much they have or how much that they really need. But she's socking it away. I mean, from like her own business, like it's like she's embezzling. It's like some kind of Trump thing or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally, totally.
Yeah. So that was just a little. And then she like looks at the camera and was like, "You didn't see any of this, So
and she's like, "I'll kill you and your entire family. I'll drain them or something. I'll drain them.
I'll drain you and your entire family." Yeah. So This was great. This was different. This was like, I don't know. This was a fun one.
It was a fun one. And I think that I don't know. I love when I don't know much about the history of like this stuff. I like pretend that I do, but it's just like, I feel like they took like cues from like an older style of entertainment. It was almost like vaudeville. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Hey. That's good. Good job, Clay. Vaudeville. Yeah,
their vaudeville was. Hold on a second. On point. I had to look that up.
That was I guess I don't want to say fire again, but that was it was on point. It was very good. And so next we have the wedding. The next is.
Ooh, so yeah, you tell me because I haven't watched the preview, haven't seen it yet. I'm not gonna say
I haven't seen it yet either. but the
But
name of the episode is
Oh, I see.
The Wedding.
I didn't know if you saw next on.
No, I'm looking at this on IMDb, and it says Guillermo loses his mind trying to help Nandor plan the perfect vampire wedding.
Oh, very well.
Very
I thought
well.
that. See, here's the weird thing too about the wives and Marwa. So, like, she was the last episode we reviewed. Like, she was in it. But then, you know, he was like, used the wish so that she wouldn't come out with everybody to the night market. But
Just the night with the boys. Or
but
whatever.
also, I thought like maybe they were. I thought they were married already or still. Like, I thought they were married still because he was married to them in the past. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, but it sounds like they're gonna do. Maybe it's like a renew your vows kind of like.
Yeah, because he's had 36 wives, girl wives and guy wives, as he says. But, yeah, I think this is the real one. But now I feel like he's kind of souring on it now. Like, it started off, he was very excited, and I feel like he's going to be kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. That's just my prediction.
Just like, I want to have, I should commission on Cameo or something, Todd McFarlane to draw a picture of Nandor and have like the word balloon says Spawn, but like so in like Spawn mythology, I guess, you know, like he's definitely running out of wishes with the djinn. You know what I mean? Like, like that's gonna be like it's gonna come to a head. Or every time, I feel like even by the time we get to this episode, he's got to have run out of his 52 wishes.
Right, he only had 52. I feel like he's going to do something like big next week where he's going to be like, no, like he's going to want to wish that he doesn't have to marry her or something. And the guy's going to be like, nope, you're out.
Yeah, you're out. That's what it's building up to. And like,
because it's going to have to come at a big moment. It can't just be like, nothing.
And if there's like a 16-year-old kid out there that was as obsessed with what we do in the shadows as I was with G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and I was like, right when they started killing off Joes around like 110 or whatever, like I like on the top of my long box I would like write the names of the different Joes that got killed. So I had a running roster of the ones that had died.
Nice.
But what I'm getting at is, if there's a kid that loves what we do in the shadows, listening to this podcast right now, wants to go back, count every single wish, and you have to count the ones that are kind of off camera, because he does say, I used the wish to blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, like, if they were smart, they would make it, like, trackable, and they were like, on the whiteboard in their writer's room, like, they were, like, keeping track.
Right.
But I feel like they would, the way they do this show, I don't know if that's even possible because of the, how things get edited, right? So I'm sure like all these episodes have another 20 minutes worth of shit that they could put in that don't make it into the show.
Oh, at least. Well, there's somebody on Reddit who has tallied up the total number of wishes. I don't know if you
I do.
you
Well,
care.
read the results. I do care.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to read the whole thing, but anyway, so season 4, episode 2, The Lamp.
Well, just
This
the
is where
count.
it's-
I'm only interested in the numbers, and not.
So
every
there's
single
7.
one.
He says so. But just like we said, or if you count sending each wife back, right?
Yeah.
But that can't work, right? Because then he would be already at 41 wishes. Because bringing them all and then sending them all back, that couldn't be a wish, right? Because that's kind of like,
I feel like maybe.
you know what I mean? If he doesn't want to marry them, then he sends them back. That can't be
Here's the
another
thing,
wish.
yeah, with the gold coin, which he did with all of the other ones. So I think
Right.
maybe this is like a funny like algebra math you have to do.
It is.
I
It's
feel
weird.
like the maybe sending them back is because they all came back as one wish, right? Maybe sending them back with the gold coin like is not 41, but it does count as at least one wish to make sure that they go back.
Well, this person on Reddit says
They have
it's
a
either
theory about
7 their theory, if you want to count that, he's at 41. If you don't count each wife going back, he's at 7. That's what they say at the end of season 4, episode 2, including wishing to know how many wishes he gets, which
that was the first one he
blows
lost.
one. You know what I mean?
That was the first one he lost.
He wishes his wives to speak English. You know, that's wish number 3. Like, so there's all these like wishes, but this is that. Yeah, it gets a little tricky there because he doesn't. I think it's just one wish to wish them back. You know, I wish that I could send them back. Not each wife getting a wish, or bride. I should, whatever. So anyway, let's go by the 7. I'm going to go with the 7. Okay, that at the end of that episode, he's at 7. The next episode, he only used like 2, but it might be there's like, it gets a little. He confirming, like he says. He's made some modifications to mold Marwa into the idea of a perfect woman. So I don't know if that's specifically several wishes or one wish.
Right.
But, it might be a little more. Then he's at one wish that she stays home from the market. That's like the only wish he uses in that one, though. So, I don't know. He either is at 10, but wait, where's the one? I don't think this is quite up to date. Where's the giant penis one? Or...
Yeah, see, like you have to probably he might have started, and then he might have put on Reddit. He might have commented below on the additional episodes. Like
you're right. Because so there's it's a lot, but this person has done it. If you want,
but yeah, I mean this person on Reddit, to their credit, was thinking the same thing we were saying. Like, what happens with all the wives going back to gold? And I feel like he's 10 wishes deep with this plastic surgery.
Yeah. Because he doesn't count this latest episode that we just talked about. Someone else says you can only count the pen clicks. When the gene
I did
notice
notice that.
Pen, that's the wish. So just talking about it doesn't really count, but when he goes, that's a wish. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it almost seems like he's got way more than 10, but I mean, whatever. It's a great comedy,
especially when they
thing.
say that it doesn't matter and there's not going to be a tally at the end of the season or whatever. Like, but he's going to definitely it's going to climax the
It's going to come back to haunt
a wish that he wished something to happen in general. I'm just talking about the wish. He wished something to happen that he wishes he could take back, but as we see, while they don't care about, they just hit a big reset button at the beginning of this season too, but it could be to turn the tide to make next season way different. If there's another vampire there, or I don't know, it could be anything. But he's gonna get one. He's gonna get one wish away from what he really wants to do, because he's going to fuck it up.
Right. And we don't know, like you said, how many he used in this episode. This guy only goes up to episode 4. So we don't know how many, I want, eyes. I want my eyes done. I want my lips done. Are those all separate wishes? So he's got to be getting near the end. I bet he's getting close. So, and it'll come at the best, comedically the best moment, I'm sure.
Oh, of course.
So, I think that's all we got for this episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
That's right.
You got any final thoughts? Springer's final thoughts?
No Springer final thoughts, except for that, that I will lean into the camp, especially in any sort of comedy. If I can appreciate if people don't like camp when it shows up where it shouldn't be, but it can't be comedy, corny comedy, vaudeville comedy, Marx Brothers comedy. If they're drawing inspiration from that, I think this is great. I love that stuff. I love it in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love it over here. They're doing something really different and creative like this, but also have it be a little sort of like a comedy trope that they don't use a lot. So like
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah, anytime it's done well, I'm fine with it. Any comedy, even like an impractical Joker kind of comedy or something like that.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
But if it's done well, I think I can do it. What actually they call it, incomprehensible jest hairs, I think is also what they actually call them. I just remembered that. But anyway, yeah. It's great that they could insert like these characters that we already know so well into like put them in a different boat, or a different scenario. So I love it.
Yeah.
On board.
Baby Colin Robinson is a big, jump. Sets this season apart.
Yeah.
He gets to. I mean, I feel like it does kind of comment on Baby Groot because, like, isn't Groot kind of like a teenager dickhead in the second Guardians movie?
In Avengers.
In Avengers, yeah.
Infinity War, he's kind of
he's kind of a shitty kid, like kind of like
he
how
says.
Colin's a
All
shitty
he says
kid.
all he says is I am Groot, and they're like, whoa, look at the language on
Yeah.
I love that gag. They're like language, and all he says I am Groot. But anyway, yeah. So it is kind of like that. And now I suppose maybe we will get to the angry teenager Colin Robinson very soon. So
yeah. He's kind of progressing to next episode. Yeah, he's going to be older and and there's nothing worse than a 16-year-old acne-laden kid awkwardly at a wedding. I'm picturing myself at my uncle's first wedding. When I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Had suspenders on us, and people would be like, "You look really nice today. Thank you." eating cheddar chips, Triscuits. Oh, it's good food here.
You're right. Those are the worst. I remember going to a wedding as like a teenager, and my cousin's weddings and stuff, and it's just being like.
But you're like learning how to be a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like, you kind of gotta go through it.
But you don't know the proper etiquette yet,
Yeah. You're kind of figuring it out. You're like, I got fitted for a suit.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, one thing that was funny about Colin Robinson, actually, since you were talking about him, but he stops his singing show tunes and runs over to these two girls that are sitting at the table, and they're like girls like his age, and he goes, guess what? Or whatever the thing he keeps saying, like, guess what? He's like, do you guys watch YouTube? And have you watched Mr. Beast's new video about the world's largest elephant toothpaste or whatever? And they just shut him down because like in an interview with a vampire, they're actually 143 years old girls. They're not, because they're vampires, they're frozen as being kids.
Right. Yeah. That was funny.
Guess what?
He still doesn't quite get, because he's so young. He doesn't.
Yeah, he does feel bad. He's like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to kids my own age.
Yeah, but they're not his age. You're right. They're 143 years old.
But they're watching him. They're entertained.
Yeah, well, because they love kids singing.
Very well. Very well.
All right, very well. Don't forget, as we said earlier, we're plugging leaguepodcast.com.
And our YouTube page. Please, if you're listening to this and maybe you watch it on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button.
Smash the subscribe.
This is
the kids today. Isn't that the fire thing to say?
It is. And this is the as best. It's a lot of work to do the video. I'm not complaining. But this show always goes up on YouTube. Hopefully we can capture some listeners there. So if you do see this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you listen to this, please go subscribe over on our YouTube. Just search for League of Ordinary Gentlemen. You'll see it there.
Yes, please do that. And if you want to leave comments, that's always nice too.
Yeah.
So,
maybe you might catch the premiere when we post it in our What We Do in the Shadows Vampire Council Facebook group. It says,
nice little way to plug that too.
Yeah, see?
All right. Very well. Thanks for listening. Thanks to you, Clay.
Thanks
and,
to you.
Let's see you later, you little scallywag.
His old boy.
All right, here we go. Let's try this. We're going to try this. Here we go.
Yeah. 3.
You want to count it? 3.
I'll count it.
you
I'll
count
count it. Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, bat. So it's 3, 2, 1, bat. It's not 3, 2, bat. It's 3, 2, 1, bat. Okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, bat!
Bat! Oh, I think I was...
That was good. You were no, because it was
Really?
like at Overwatch.
Okay.
Let's do it again. 3,
All right.
2, 1, bat!
Bat!
Good.
Okay. You like it. If you're
Thanks.
happy, I'm happy.
I'm always happy.
You can
That's the
fix
secret.
post.
I'm always happy.
La Mahalaquin. It's one of the hardest guitar pieces in the world to play.